Hello and welcome to Secrets Out. I'm Harpocrates, first R silent, ancient god of vows, silence, and secrets. I'm bringing back a tradition that I used to do for a millennium, like a millennia ago, where, with the help of my wondrous producer slash assistant Fides,
Hello, everyone.
I would broadcast my advice and answers to whatever ailed my followers, and I decided to pick that up again. So, sit down, grab a drink, and listen in as I take you on a journey. And remember, you didn't hear from me. Keep it a secret. All right, this month, we're finally meeting some of the faces behind my current fave production group, Sub Rosa Studios. Now, they aren't in the studio live with us right now. Apparently, mortals can't physically reach our building. Yeah, news to me too. But thankfully, Fides found a way to make it all work.
Yes, it took a lot of setup. But now we can hear all of these talented folks and their most recent projects from them.
Excellent work, Fides. As always, of course. Now, studio members, why don't we start off with your names and your role on this project?
Sure. I'll run up first. I'm Director Prismage, or Mike, should you like. I was a composer and a poet for the project at the core.
My name is Director Fowl. I am a concept creator, writer, director, composer, and performer on this project.
Hi everyone, I'm Siren. I am a voice actor, singer, and sometimes writer for Sub Rosa, but I was a writer for this project.
I'm Devin. I was a voice actor, editor, and artist, as we all were to be fair, on this project.
Well, it's great to meet everyone. Now,
Actually, Fides, before we hop into hearing about Breathful proper, I've got a question I want to ask them.
alright, go ahead.
I've been thinking about this for a while. It's a lot of coincidences, isn't it? Sub Rosa Studios, all that mysterious imagery, that reference, the secrets. Why are you stepping on my toes?
Oh, is
you
it
know what,
weird
Val,
to
I'm
say
gonna
that
let
we
you take
consider you
that,
our
yeah.
patron deities?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And we just really wanted to, honor you in that way. Isn't that right, guys?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Okay, that explains it. Fans. Always love meeting them. Good taste in your guys' end.
Now, all of you worked on Breathful, right? Yeah. Great. It's a very unique show. What was the inspiration behind it?
Well, it all started with the hope to share a number of poems and songs that myself and Director Fowl found a lot of resonance, meaning, and purpose in. And we really wanted an opportunity to share, and from that point on, it just kept rapidly developing until we had brought more people in and made a whole song and poetry cycle, and it just started coming to life. Very, very exciting, really.
Oh, that's really interesting. It's surprisingly cohesive for something that wasn't originally meant to be so.
Yeah, the inspiration for Breathful came from the desire to create something that goes back to our roots, quite literally. The entire show is designed around this idea of the circle of life and how your very being, especially your breath, connects to nature in such an intimate way. We wanted to make something that felt distinctly spiritual but not tied to one interpretation. The show follows your respiratory system, how you breathe in, your thoughts, your perspective, that anxious pressure that builds up, and the relief of an exhale, letting all your worries fade.
Yeah, it's such a wonderful project that we all got to work on. With the breath cycle, it kind of made me think of like life, death, and rebirth. And for the piece that I wrote specifically, it was literally mushrooms that inspired me because they are part of that cycle. I know it sounds really silly, but I was just kind of like looking at my notes on mushrooms and kind of how they're, so much more than we make them to be. And the inspiration just came from there, at least from my end.
That's how you manage it. Can't say I really understand the whole life-death thing, but I don't know if it's just incredibly clever, or just really lucky, but wow,
Porque no los
it was
dos?
amazing.
I mean, why not both?
Exactly, both is a great answer.
Both is good.
Actually, can we talk about the show's structure? It's a very drastic change from how broad your first project was. The fall showcase, isn't it? Walk us through that really quickly.
The fall showcase was stressful. I think this was one of the most stressful projects I've ever directed, and that is saying a lot. The show was completely designed to showcase the performer by performing something that they loved, and then it was all tied together in 4 categorical themes. We went from barely any submissions to 35 to 20, and the number kept fluctuating, and we wanted a distinct time limit, and it was all a lot, but eventually we settled and found our groove. But I remember the promotion for it was incredibly stressful, as it was our first project.
Yeah. And Breathful, it kind of also seemed to take on its own character. One that was like really spiritual and full of development. It was really down to earth and feeling, and yeah, it was very real at the same time. And because of that and the order it was in, the progression just made for some really cohesive and impactful messages overall as it stacked up. I'd say bits and pieces of themes definitely collided with what we did in the fall showcase, but with like the beauty, spooky, secretive kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And I love that that's something that they had in common as like a transition, and also just like a nod to the spirit of the studio and also you guys.
Ooh, I like that.
Certainly. Well, the first allowed more freedom of what one could do. This one kept us in a line, so to speak. The theme was there, and all the works followed it. And with it being the work was simple, and left the voice actors/singers to bring it to life. So it was certainly an interesting project to work on.
And like coming from an acting point of view, like that's just kind of like my background and specialty with this first project. I really just wanted to show off with some of my Shakespearean chops, which I really do love because I absolutely have such a deep, deep love in my heart for Shakespeare and just performing it in any way, shape, or form, just with that first project. But this one definitely challenged me, and it just made me, take my time. It was a take your time, slow down, and just breathe and pause when you need to. Just take that small break instead of that just stressful go, 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 go. Because I tend to be like that sometimes when I have either procrastinated or have completely spaced out on a project or just whatever. Not that that's happened before.
I also like that. Oh. I'm touching on that.
Yeah, that's fine. It's all
No,
good.
I love that this brought a sense of like breathing to all of us, which is nice because not only is it the theme, but I think it's something that we need to be able to do.
Yeah, especially daily.
Yes, that's important.
Yeah, that's something we wanted to bring a lot of attention to.
Okay, we understand that it was encouraged that all the performers also create some sort of visual that's seen throughout the project. So, what was that like?
Oh, it was fascinating. To try and take like words, feelings, and emotions deeply expressed in poems or music, and then switch the medium they're expressed in, or to like create something entirely new out of the inspiration or interpretation or experience that art gave you. It's like an entirely profound and interesting experience. I would recommend it to audiences over and over and over.
I absolutely agree. And it was really fun. I enjoyed getting to make the art in a way that I saw the pieces in my mind. It was incredible. You really feel something within yourself when you do that.
Absolutely, and I have to agree with it. It like kind of let my inner Bob Ross out for this project. It was also just really inspiring. Like, listen, I grew up with Bob Ross, and I could go on that for hours. But anyway, this project, like with having to do that art medium, it was very inspiring. It gave me a chance to practice with like some other mediums that I normally don't use, or that I use like maybe sporadically, but I still really, really enjoy. It was also therapeutic in a way.
It was certainly a first. I wasn't planning on creating art due to my limited experience in doing such and the lack of actual drawing equipment, but it was certainly fun to try once.
Yeah, but even as super creative people, though, I can't imagine that everyone enjoyed it.
It was definitely a challenge for some people, but we really wanted it to be a chance for people to try something new out and experiment and maybe even enjoy it.
Experiment, huh?
Going back to being creatives, there's a wide mix of songs, spoken words, and traditional poetry going on here. Did you feel drawn to a particular style, or were they all really comfortable?
Well, I feel comfortable with all of it, though I did use it as an opportunity to explore more of them. But really, with poetry and song, I wish these mediums would be mixed in larger projects like this one, all the more because of it. Song and poetry really go hand in hand, and they're much more powerful when they're in conjunct, I think.
For me, not really. Well, everything is a fantastic listen. The wide range is what I feel kept it refreshing. Instead of focusing on a single style that could feel old really quickly, since there would be nothing new coming, with the wide range of styles, you never know what is coming, so there's something for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
As well as that, through projects like this one, I discovered that I think I want to be a lyricist and a poet. I feel good when I'm writing like that. But I suppose time in an audience will tell if I'm actually any good at that.
Okay, listen, in my personal biased opinion, I think you're excellent at it. In fact, I think you're all excellent at it. But, that's my personal biased opinion, which is, I just follow by law. Anyway, but as far as,
That's
with this
my
project...
favorite bias.
Oh.
Biased and unbiased. But for me personally, I love using music and spoken words as, my favorite mediums to bring things to life, especially if it's, someone else's. I mean, yeah, I can write in, rhyming couplets, which I tend to do for entertainment purposes when I'm performing live theater on the spot, which I is one of my favorite things to do. But if there's a melody or words to bring to life that someone else has written, I really just enjoy bringing my own take to that and just kind of giving that to the world, these words of wisdom of these emotions of powers to others. Even if they're not my own, I want to still put my own twist on it and still stay true to the story of the author. God, I hope
Quite a
makes
twist
sense.
that you guys put on all of it. It was very, very, very interesting.
Mhm.
Honestly, it's kind of bummed that you guys aren't going to become my modern poets.
Oh,
I
there's
mean,
still
if
time.
you want to house
We
me
could.
and pay me to write poetry and
we
perform
could
for you,
use some
I'm super down for
sponsors,
that. I would be down for
Yeah,
that.
we still need patrons.
That's true.
Yes, you
True.
could be our officials.
Does that mean you'll finally check out Anne Carson?
Um,
Moving on, what were some challenges you faced? Were any of them unexpected, or on the flip side, what was something you found to be a highlight?
Challenges and highlights. Well, it's kind of ironic, but my answer is going to be the same for both the good and the bad. It's always interesting to get it, the music or the art, to a place where it feels totally complete. There's always going to be more that you can do with mixing or mastering or the like, or just adding these little details and switching balances. But at some point, I think things need to be shared and set free to the world for it to see and for it to be learned from. That's something I dealt with personally as a challenge, but also as something I was happy to work through. This experience gave me a chance to share things I might not have been able to share, so I was overjoyed for both of those, really.
I can agree with that. I also think another challenge came from the artwork. It was difficult making sure everyone felt comfortable with their art, turning it in, making sure they liked it too. But it was rewarding when everyone came together. But watching the project on its premiere with the studio was so surreal. I kept thinking about how wonderful it felt to see that project out there. That was the most rewarding part of it all.
Mm-hmm. God, I love that. I love it when something's coming together and it's super rewarding. I will say that the challenge that I faced was recording with, cats. I have 3 lovable, fluffy, adorable cats. And I would love to share them with the world, and I try to share them as much as I can. But they would come in and knock something over, or they'd meow at me when I was working, or the door was closed and they're like, Mother, I want to go outside, Mother. Please let me out of the office, Mother. So just trying to get a decent piece done with cats around, which is really, really hard. But I love my cats. So that was definitely a challenge. I definitely one of the challenges I faced. But I think one of the biggest highlights for me was getting to bring other people's work to light with my particular flair. And I think I touched on it earlier. Just getting the opportunity to speak such powerful pieces or seeing such intriguing pieces has been really, really glorious, especially since I still can't get one of the pieces out of my head. I will still sing pieces of it in my day-to-day. And it's great. It's glorious.
Oh, that's what I love to hear.
Mm-hmm.
As far as challenges, honestly, it was far smoother sailing than anything. Simple editing, of putting pictures to audio, some audio leveling here, and boom! Breathful was born. But the highlight was definitely the people I had the pleasure of working
Aww. You like us.
with.
All those answers were very varied.
Ah, from pretty trivial to quite emotional. You guys are quite a funny bunch.
Thank you.
How long did this all take?
Oh, yeah, I'm curious about this too.
Ooh. I'm really not the best person to ask that. I get lost in projects with regards to time. I kind of started this project with Fowl, got engulfed in it, and then practically it was already over in development in like super rapid speed. Parts of it went so fast that it was like a huge blur, and others were like, wow, this is taking quite a bit longer than I thought. I can't wait to see to get like the end product. And now we're here and it's incredible.
That is such a mood. It's such a great mood, but it is such a mood. But like, I have to second the whole time tends to blur together, because time blurs together for me a lot. But I know with the artwork, at least, I literally like dug down and spent like a couple of days just like sitting and hunkered down on the visuals with my, art supplies and getting messy. So yeah.
Well, for me, it took around 2 months, I believe. Well, the parts that I had to do did.
We usually run on a 3 to 6 month basis for our projects to make sure we can really finesse them. This project specifically was conceptualized back in the summer, and we started work on it around the fall.
Mm-hmm. That's quicker than I was expecting from you guys.
I'm more confused by how so many of you forgot what happened like less than a year ago.
Deities, you can't hold it against them. That's just what human memory's like.
Oh, it's gotten that bad?
Listen.
It's the mortal curse.
Listen, we've been going through a lot of historical events in a short amount of time for our poor little human brains.
Yeah, we're
dealing with a lot.
We're speeding through the checklist right now. Yeah,
we're a living history book. Sorry to say.
Speed run. We're speed
I will
running.
say I remember the songs I write more than most events, though.
I still think a pandemic was last year. Like I genuinely am like, no, the pandemic was last year, right?
This is time blurring, yes.
Yes, it's exactly what it is. Anyway.
There are a lot of deep topics that the show explores. Want to highlight one of them?
I want to discuss the theme of the breath within the show. I'm unsure if it's easy to notice, but Mike and I put the sound of our own breathing, a sigh, an exhale, an inhale, within a lot of our submissions, wanting to keep that reminder of this living, breathing project. In the same way, the transition cards, the scene titles are all themed around the respiration system. One particular thing I wanted to mention was the song Ecstasy. This was a last-minute addition replacing one of my other songs, but I felt that it fit more with the theming. A song about pent-up panic and anxiety, learning to let go with a breath. It felt right.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's really hard to pick a theme because I feel like there's so many like smaller themes, but the fact that we will return to the earth when we meet our demise is the one that kind of sticks with me. We came from the earth, and to that earth we will return. I genuinely hope that when my time actually comes, I'm actually able to let my corpse feed nature and help it flourish, as opposed to just being buried in a box or, have my ashes spread. I legitimately want this flesh vessel that I'm in to feed the earth that I came from. I know that sounds like very strange, but I'm like, no. Let me go back to the earth. So.
It sounds right.
That's not strange at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've thought that for like most of my life, but like, there's nothing I want more than to be helping out the flowers and the trees again.
Absolutely, God, absolutely.
Which is probably relates to like the themes and things that I paid most attention to when I was writing and when I was recording, which would be like the exchange of energy and the death and rebirth patterns that were present. those threads were like super common through a lot of the show and were really impactful to interact with. But I would say it was most interesting to see all of the different ways that it manifested and you could see the patterns in. Like, when I go back to rewatch it, however many times I do, I'll still be looking at that, and there'll just be more and more and more that I see every time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that'll be true for you guys too, so listener I don't know on the other end, have so much fun with that.
I'm the exact opposite. I wasn't thinking too deeply about anything. I don't like deep thinking. I find it like a hole. The more you do it, the deeper you dig, and in the end, you may go too deep to get out. It feels like somewhat of a trap.
Oh my.
That is so interesting. Devin, was it? You are fascinating to me.
How so?
Oh, you come off as somebody who I want to take a look at all of your secrets. It's either you have none, or you have some good ones enough to rival me.
Anyway, I could convince you it's more of the boring option.
Is it,
Devin,
That's
are you
ominous.
okay?
Is he
Oh,
is he
Devin.
trying to
Oh,
like
no.
is he trying to hit on Devin?
Devin, you better hide.
Oh, you're done for.
I'm getting mixed signals, man. I don't know. That is very
Yeah,
suspicious.
that
I don't know.
was pretty ominous.
Regardless, I ship it. I don't know.
Oh, cut it out, Harpocrates. I swear you picked the worst times to go silent. But I do have another question for you guys. It's been a while since you first wrote/heard these words. Have your thoughts on them changed, like, at all?
I wrote a lot of them a few years ago, and now that I'm older, I look back on... I'm sorry. I wrote a lot of poetry. That's what them means. I wrote a lot of poems a few years ago, and now that I'm older, I look back at my work with nostalgia. They were all standalone pieces originally, but I feel like they all came together for this project in a new way I hadn't expected. I'm a writer, I
Yeah,
swear.
it was a similar...
You're golden buddies, I promise.
Yeah, it was really similar for me, but it was really it was different hearing different people and how they gave them, pardon my reuse of the same word, but different interpretations and energy.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say it was like even fascinating to see things change from the writing stage to the organizing to explaining it to people to then rehearsing and recording and then editing and then to the final stages. Plus, I've also interacted with them a lot more myself, and I think it's less of a change of my understanding and sometimes more of like a deepening of it as well.
Mm-hmm. Personally, I just feel it just like grows and evolves with time, just like humans do. So, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
For me, not really. I just enjoy them. Again, I'm not one to think too much about anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's the end of all my questions. It's been a pleasure to meet you all, and I'll be keeping tabs on all of your future endeavors.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yay!
Woo.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
What does that mean?
What does it mean?
No, I think it's a good
And
thing.
once again, we're just about out of time. But before you all leave, is there anything else you'd like to add? Things that we might be able to look forward to?
Well, I'm not quite certain what I can and can't reveal. I'll say this. You guys have more than welcome to look forward to for more future projects coming soon. Sub Rosa social media and this podcast should be a fantastic way to keep up with the studio's projects.
Mm-hmm.
Why does he think we're a good place to learn about them?
Sure. I'm not sure at all.
You
Honestly,
can see the cameras.
there is that. I'm genuinely excited. Sorry, I have an answer, I promise, but we're all giggling. I get it. I'm just really excited about every other project that's upcoming that I get to be a part of. I've got some work to do to get some of them done, but that will happen in time. But I can't wait to see how we're all just going to flourish and grow and do cool stuff with cool people.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to go more of the coy route, but I'm looking forward to hearing more thoughts from others involved and hopefully doing a lot more things like this in the future.
Agreed. I'm also gonna have to stay pretty tight-lipped, but I do want to say thank you so much for having us on.
Yes.
Oh, and thank you for coming on. You were all an odd and strange bunch, but also a lot of fun. So, say what? Let me give us a heads up next time that you have one of your projects, and we can give you a shout out.
Oh,
That would be wonderful.
great idea.
Thank you.
Sounds good.
Oh my gosh, yes.
We're already huge supporters, and you guys are fans of us, so we might as well make it official.
Oh,
yay!
Guys, we got that
thank you.
sponsorship.
Yeah,
A relationship. A friendship,
A
Relationship.
dare I
relationship
say.
and a sponsorship.
Let's make it a healthy one, y'all. We love healthy friendships.
We're going to have so many secrets.
Who knows? Well,
Secrets
we'll
don't
have
make
to
friends,
wait
Director
on
Mike.
that one to see how many we can have. But who knows? Maybe we might have another one of these sit-down chats soon. But until then, bye-bye, Sub Rosa Studios.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Until next time.
Bye. Wait, we forgot to do fun facts with Fides.
Oh, shoot. Do you want to tell me any now?
No, not really.
Sorry, next time. But in that case, gods, goddesses, eldritch souls, and mortals, thank you for tuning in tonight. This wraps up our show, and I will see you all next month. Remember to stay creative, get out there and get out of your comfort zone, face your passions, meet some new people, watch Breathful, have a good time. Keep your secrets close, and remember, you can hear from me.